president may use executive powers to pass immigration reform if the Republican-controlled Congress doesn't move to do it. Most agree the immigration system is broken.
ABC 7's Maria Garcia took a closer look at that system, and tonight she shows us what's causing the major backlog. It's tonight's special report.
And I love my country. Even though I'm a resident alien, but I still love my country, you know?
Yeah. You consider yourself an American?
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus Aldana was born in Mexico, but he loves the U.S. Like millions of people, he had to go through the immigration system to live here. A system immigration attorney Ileana Holguin says is clogged.
We just don't have enough immigration judges.
There are 260 immigration judges around the country. By most accounts, not enough for the more than 400,000 pending cases.
So there's a limit of visas that are available every single year in any given category. And the problem is that those numbers haven't changed for decades, and many, many more people apply than there are visas available. So a long waiting line starts. And now the waiting line has gotten so long that it's nearly 20 years.
For example, for people trying to get their permanent residency through a U.S. citizen sibling, the line is long. There's a cap of 65,000 visas a year in this category, far fewer than the number of people who apply. So it takes about 2 decades to get to the front of the line. And in the meantime, many of them are in the U.S. living illegally.
And so a lot of those folks are the folks that end up getting encountered in the U.S. and being placed into removal proceedings. And so these are people who have a way to get their lawful permanent resident status and become a lawful immigrant of the U.S. And a lot of these same cases are the ones that are clogging up the immigration system.
Thank God, and thanks to this person who actually, give me the freedom for me being here in this country.
For Aldana, though, his stepfather, a U.S. citizen, filed for he and his mom to get their permanent residency when Aldana was a child. It generally takes less time for spouses of U.S. citizens to get their permanent residencies. But even for them, a new setback this year. The nearly 60,000 Central American migrants who came to the U.S., many unaccompanied children, are going to the front of the line in immigration court, worsening the chronic backlog. Since the migrants, though, mostly didn't cross through El Paso, Holguin says it's not affecting the 6 El Paso immigration courts.
Here in El Paso, we didn't see that, thankfully, but there were a lot of cities that were impacted by the influx and where the courts had to make changes.
There are no recording devices allowed when court is in session, but I did sit through one of the dockets. The Judge Howe, very courteous to the defendants, most of whom needed more time to get their paperwork in order or get their appeal ready. Some had lawyers, some didn't. There is no indigent defense system in immigration court, so if you can't afford a lawyer, one will not be appointed to you. However, there are several nonprofit organizations that provide attorneys at no cost to some defendants.
While the U.S. Border Patrol's budget increased by 30% to $3.5 billion from 2009 to 2013, the immigration court system budget increased by 8% to $289 million in the same time frame. President Obama's request this summer for $45 million, partially to hire more judges, denied by Congress. Aldana and many people like him are glad they've had an avenue to living lawfully in the U.S.
I thank him because if it wasn't for him, I won't be in this beautiful nation, you know what I'm saying? And I love my country.
A country with a complex entry system. Maria Garcia, ABC 7.
The El Paso Police Department appears to be changing its look, and it's starting with the patrol units. These